to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, it's part of the show. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged, caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of Gish Galloping wars. No remedy can't save the lost, in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe is delight in a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard, that's it. Welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated 8 makes you believe you're spinning in space while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate, no one to help me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates, but my brother, heaven could never be late, and rockets don't work in space. It's all fake, the show is on Mars, it's a joke, but you're too far gone, it won't be long. Fepe's beak is strong. We have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond, and lives of truth that hits the bong and sings the song, turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with a holy gown and all of us wearing our holy crowns. Said the earth is flat and we probably just won't get along, just to go along. I said, welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know.
So back when Glissas wrote his book, Is the Bible from Heaven, Is the Earth a Globe? He published one of the pages. He himself, he was an engineer. So back then, Russ, he paid some captains and ship, masters to find out the exact distance from the tip of South America, which is Cape Horn, to the tip of South Africa, which is Cape of Good Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that the globe has 3,420 miles in theory. Okay? But the correct distance is 5,700 miles, in fact.
gotta use my tools in a glass case, astronaut suit, footprint don't match the boot. Been to the moon once and ain't been back since. And I'm just trying to figure out where the tax dollars went. Now.
Please stand by for a voice check from KTBC TV.
It is a real honor to be able to touch base.
Позвольте себе это сделать. Real good engineer.
When Gemini 4 first launched men into space, Tang instant breakfast drink went with them. Since then, people everywhere have launched the day with Tang. Because nothing fuels up your family like a nutritious breakfast in Tang. Tang has a fresh orange taste, a full day's supply of vitamin C in every glass, and it costs about 1/3 less than orange juice. From Gemini to the shuttle to Earth families. Great mornings have taken off with Tang. Launch your day with the goodness of Tang.
Because of the orange coloring of the president's face. And he, of course, claims that it's photoshopped.
Dawn greetings, young one.
What would you like for consumables? Pop-Tarts, chicken embryos, seasoned patties of ground animal flesh?
I'm not really hungry. Just some Tang.
Ah, Tang, the drink the astronauts took to the moon.
Astronauts to the moon.
Staring at the world through my rear view. Just looking back at the world from another level, you know what I mean?
Single bars and good time lovers were never true.
So, I'm seeing nothing but my dreams coming true while I'm staring at the world through my rear view. They got me staring at the world through my rear view. Go and baby, scream to God. He can't hear you. I can feel your heart beating fast. Guess it's time to die. Getting high, watching time fly.
Everybody's talking about time speeding up. Well, apparently the mainstream is too. So let's look at this. Here we go. So according to the mainstream media, they're putting out that Earth's rotation just hit a new record that's speeding up time. Isn't that a strange coincidence that they would happen to bring a topic like this up? Which is why when people complain about me having the nerve to bring up the actual biblical cosmology or shape of the Earth, I tell you it's for a reason, because half of the things or the lies they foist on the public is based on NASA and the false shape of the Earth. But according to the mainstream, the Earth is speeding up, which is also speeding up time. Isn't that fantastic?
Diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the Maha agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Following up.
Yeah, wearables. Everyone will be wearing wearables. Why do people need to wear wearables? What people need to do is stop eating and being fed poison, being sprayed poison in the skies, having fluoride in your waters, being vaccinated for things that don't even exist.
This is a dried parasitic insect that you eat every day. Well, how is that possible? Well, watch closely. If I crush a small pile of these insects, scoop them up, and pour them into a vial of warm water, the water turns a deep red. This is used as a red dye under the names cochineal extract, natural red 4, E120, and carmine color. Carmine color is listed in the ingredients of this candy. So, this candy gets its color from crushed up parasitic insects. Guess which of these products have parasitic insects in them? They all do.
You know that they're giving COVID vaccines to 6-month-old children now.
Every player, unless they're from the same household, has to bring their own tennis balls so that you don't touch other people's tennis balls with your hand.
It starts at 6 months and they get 3 of them, kind of boom, boom,
Are
boom.
doctors really recommending this?
That doctor's likely to lose $250,000 a year if they don't do that, because there's incentive given to hospitals and doctors. We know how bad it is. We know that it ruins stem cells in pregnant women. They don't give stem cells to their babies. The industry's upset because the placentas no longer have stem cells. They used to use those stem cells in research and cosmetics, etc. They're not getting them anymore because of what the COVID shots did to the placentas and those infants. That's not being talked about in the media. Nothing bad about the shots being talked about when we have Kevin McKernan and all these people looking at it going, there's SV40 in it. There was a staphylococcal endotoxin gene. There were 2 snake genes in there. You know, it's a definite gain of function. Nope. We got to put it on the baby vaccine schedule, because any doubts whether or not well-funded about the vaccination must not be allowed to exist. That's why.
Giving a COVID shot to a baby today is insane.
3 of them.
If you pause to read here, you'll see that the mother was gaslit, told that her daughter was born like this. No. That inward eye, as shown right here, is just one of the many signs of neurotoxicity in children. Another super common one is the crooked smile, which is so common that most parents actually miss this. My advice to new parents or parents to be is that you need to start opening up books. Do not rely on a Google search. It is a crock of you-know-what. Get your hands on books like these, where you will be equipped with root cause education.
A movement driven by big corporations to take the soul away from people, to disconnect people from the higher world. And in order to do that, we have to destroy the pineal gland in people. And I followed the research on that, and amazingly what we found, the pineal gland is the most sensitive part of our central nervous system, and is highly, highly, highly sensitive to 4 things: aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and Wi-Fi. And we are the only country in the world that has pushed these 4 things in the last 60 years or so on everybody growing up here. There must have been an ultra intelligent group of scientists who have designed this protocol to fluoridate the drinking water, to put nanonized aluminum in the air, to put glyphosate in the food, and then activate it, spark it with the right frequencies.
And giving vaccines to children the moment they come out of the mother's womb. You know what I'm saying? And how are they going to get people to do this? Well, just like they do everything else. False flags and pandemics. And we've got both of those coming right down the pipeline. Trust me. Or actually, you don't have to, because you probably already see it coming. And here's another doozy. Scientists detected unusual airborne toxin in the United States for the first time. And they're excited about it. And it's a crazy thing. They're trying to say it's a forever particle that is somehow something like something that would be from mining. Like, you know, like that company Alcoa I've told you about 1,000,000 times that literally causes barium, strontium, and aluminum, and they just decided to spray it into the sky to get rid of it. This is amazing. They're prepping the public. They're priming them right now. All this stuff that we found in the atmosphere, our samples, they're literally finding barium, strontium, and aluminum and then not saying exactly what they are. Even though 12 separate states have decided that they're going to try to ban chemtrails, even though the mainstream is making light of it. But it's a nice bit of justification, not that it matters, but 12 states trying to ban chemtrailing. You know, I've been talking about this for an awfully long time. It's why I started my channel, but it is what it is, whatever.
Why don't they talk about planting trees? Why isn't Bill Gates the largest, private landowner in the U.S. now planting trees like crazy if he's so worried about carbon dioxide? he poo-poos the whole idea of planting trees as a way to combat climate change. It's just carbon markets and going to electric vehicles and all of this stuff. But electric vehicles necessitates mass mining, and a lot of that mining is in places that use child labor, or it's going to be so environmentally destructive you totally destroy the developing world, which these people on the left supposedly want to protect. You're going to totally destroy the environment. But really, what it's about is controlling how much energy people can use, and if you can control how much energy a household can use, you can control their economic activity. You also control how big their family can get. It's fear-driven to get people to accept policies they otherwise wouldn't accept because they're told this cataclysmic event is just down the line. And trust us, again, is the conclusion of that. There's people that agree with the narrative about climate change, and there's people that don't. And I'm not trying to really get in that space when I talk about this stuff. I'm trying to point out that the solutions are coming mostly from Wall Street. And then you have people like Larry Fink of BlackRock and Michael Bloomberg and Mark Carney coming together in something like GFAN saying, why don't we give Wall Street direct control of the IMF and the World Bank for climate change?
Right.
How can anyone on the left that's worried about climate change sign up on that?
So let's get back to the 2 F words, false flags. That's the only thing I can see when Trump posts this. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't make me use the other F word, which would be flag or false. Do you see what I'm saying? And then, of course, we've been hearing the rumors about sleeper cells in the United States that the government flew in. You know what I mean? And then magically, all of a sudden, we've got 11 Iranians and a U.S. citizen detained by ICE that were suspected of being sleeper cells. And they do a great big article on it. What this is doing is getting the average sheep acquainted with the fact that there are sleeper cells, whether they're Iranian or Israeli or American or whatever. Somebody that's getting paid by Gates or the World Economic Forum or the U.S. government or Donald Trump or the billionaires themselves. But these guys are actually going through with this. This is really occurring, and you need to use caution and be aware. I don't know what else to possibly say, but this is going down.
Which means orange really is the new black. Simply put, this country and this world benefit from your commitment to Jesuit principles, to being men.
As a graduate of another great Jesuit institution, Xavier University, I have great affection for the value and purpose of a Jesuit education.
Nike is apparently funding a study that disfigures young boys to understand if they can be physically impaired enough to compete with girls without significant retained male advantage. And if you're confused what this means, it means Nike is funding a study to give children injectable hormones and puberty blockers.
But it does seem to suggest that he has an affinity for a tan, which we've known for some time. It's a bit of a mystery how that tan gets on his face, but it has been one of the mysteries, the enduring mysteries of the Trump era.
I just want to emphasize the degree to which we are in serious times, and this is a really serious job. I know some of the presidential candidates have been critical of my foreign policy. I don't want to name any names.
He's talking about Donald Trump.
Whoa, time out. Is that an orange shop?
Guys, just because I didn't read the script doesn't mean you can sneak me into a commercial.
Still rolling, Jack. You're doing great.
Okay, listen, Johnny Orange Phones. I didn't sign up to sell your glorified walkie-talkies. I signed up to do some sweet acting, Lawrence of Olivier style. Stop flipping that thing. I'm trying to do a speech about integrity. This is the iconic scene where Gulliver Travels gets tied down by the tiny strings. We gotta nail this scene. And that means no cell phone selling, just incredible acting. Because you know what, Mr. Orange Corporate Man? I'm not your puppet.
Okay, make it dog.
Whoa, guys, what's going on here? Okay, very funny, guys. Stop it.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Alex, you want to take a break and join us?
I'm really busy, Mom.
We're playing Monopoly. then you'll join us.
Monopoly? Are you kidding me? I'd love a game.
I thought you had a lot of work to do.
Well, Dad, I was thinking, you know, term papers and exams come and go, but the family unit is the one true constant in life. The precious hours spent in the familiar abode with loved ones playing a heartwarming game such as this are what make memories that one can treasure for all eternity.
Getting set for tonight, Mr. Trump. I wonder what Trump's game is this time.
Trump's got a new game. Trump's got a new deal. What's your game, Donald? Heard about Trump's new deal? What? Trump has a new game. What is it? Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, please.
My new game is Trump, the game.
Trump, the game where you deal for everything you've ever wanted to own. Because it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether you win.
Yes!
Play Trump, the game from Milton Bradley.
I think you'll like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Donald Trump Museum, dedicated to America's #1 citizen and America's greatest living folk hero, the one and only Donald Trump. Learn the amazing history of the Trump family.
Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I do, and I said, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. And I guess I have some very good enemies, and I like it that way somehow, and I really believe in trashing your enemies.
Inside, you will learn how Donald Trump's father left him a large inheritance.
Nobody's going to do more women than Donald Trump. That I can tell you. That I can tell you. And I think they know it.
Discover how in 2016 Donald Trump successfully lobbied to legalize gambling.
Part of the beauty of me is that I'm very rich.
He wants to run for president and move on into the White House. Why not?
Share in the stupidity of the average American as they made him the 45th president of the United States.
That will easily go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. Me, Donald John Trump.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
they seem. Try not to understand, because it is impossible.
It's going to get more and more overtly occult as these things develop. I mean, Burning Man's totally in-your-face occult. I mean, that's just flat out, we're witches, we're here, we're New Age, we're here to work witchcraft.
It's at a point now where I call overly murderous, violent, promiscuous, sexual, ignorant, drugged out music CIA music, because the amount that we get is not an accurate representation of the black population, and at one time it was. At one time, we had an equal mix of everything. We had an equal mix of party, an equal mix of give money music, an equal mix of fly music, an equal mix of sexy, political, conscious, soulful, like all different type of music, right? And we still have that amount of diversity of artists, but the amount of music that's making it up through the pipeline is only the ignorant categories, and that doesn't accurately represent our population. And who else would be behind that? Who else has infiltrated every black organization and culture since it's been established in the US? It only makes sense. That's why I call it CIA music. And I look at a lot of the artists that push that message as feds. They just work for the government.
We're gathering together because there's more power you know, this has been almost like programming that's been put into humanity's mind for a long time. Now it's more of a manifestation of this. This is just so far off the scale where this world is heading. The amount of time, effort, money that is being expended by Satan and his minions to implement his agenda.
Who controls the medical field? The big pharmas, the biggest mafia ever. That's why they will never create a medication to heal. They will create a medication to cause a side effect, to heal one thing and cause 100 million things bad in your body. In other words, to keep you stuck to that doctor of yours. And the more you go, the sicker you become. And the biggest money maker is chemotherapy. There is cure for cancer. There is cure. God, the Almighty God, has placed everything which the body needs in Mother Nature, in the plants, in the trees, in the shrubs, and everywhere. There is medication, natural, organic, that can make your immune system, which is the most powerful defense mechanism which God, through His wisdom, put in every human body's that immune system. There are so many things you can make this immune system strong. Nothing can touch you.
I think General Electric had one because after they ran me through a whole body gamma scan in December of 1974, by the time I got out, because I had a plutonium lung burden and it took 45 minutes to an hour to count that, everybody on site knew that the manager of safety had been swimming and drinking in the swimming pool, the spent fuel storage pool. I had cesium-137 at a ferociously high level. It even exceeded the NRC's limit. And I'd been drinking it. They knew the fat was in the fire. Now, where do we go from here? Well, first of all, I got a poison pen letter from the people in San Jose. And he says, "Thou shalt not do those things. They'll find out that the inventory can be stolen." Well, that didn't sit very well with this cowboy because nobody tells me what to do, particularly when what I do is right and hasn't harmed me. Who are they to tell me what I want to do?
Christoph, let me ask you, why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
Personally, I think the unconquered South face is the only one worth scaling. It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice, but that's never stopped me before. Risk? Of course I'm aware of the risks. Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. That you are a slave. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Don't you ever talk that way to me. Never! Never! What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. And I don't like it any more than you, man.
You know how I stayed alive this long? All these years? Fear. The spectacle of fearsome acts. Somebody steals from me, I cut off his hands. He offends me, I cut out his tongue. He rises against me, I cut off his head, stick it on a pike. Raise it high up so all in the streets can see. That's what preserves the order of things. Fear.
Life is short. Try to do something new every day. Dance. Try to dance as much as you can. Try to connect to the silence of the sea. And whenever you can, try to give your body a good rest. And once in a while, try to surprise an old friend.
I'm sorry.
I know. Try to exercise on a regular basis. A healthy body is a healthy mind. Learn to appreciate art. Try new things. And yes, it will change your life.